I'm joined here by the doctor and by the man himself, Lil Whale Raleigh.
Yeah, man.
Doing
All
good.
right. So I'm going to start this off by just saying that, I've been on a lot of Discords. Everybody's looking for the stock market, especially when the big pandemic hit, right? So everybody's getting their checks and they want to invest, they want to make money. So you go into Discord groups, you go on Twitter, you find all these groups to help you. And what I realized is many of them seem like almost like a money grab. I don't know who to trust. And I stumbled upon Lil Whale Trading, your Discord, and I was taken aback by how much it seemed like you were genuinely caring about what people are doing with their money. So I found myself wanting to get the word out more about what you're doing. And someone who answers questions of an idiot like me, who is afraid to ask questions sometimes because I feel like I should know these things. You've always responded in a caring way, like you actually give a crap about what we're doing and how we're saving money or making money. And I don't know if that's what you kind of dealt with, doctor, here, when you first stumbled upon Lil Whale. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so 2020, working as a veterinarian, didn't have too much going on in the personal life. Was making money, but not really doing anything with it. Couldn't really go anywhere. Couldn't really do anything because of the pandemic and COVID and all. I was seeing all my buddies throw up Snapchats and screenshots of, oh, made this much doing this and this much doing that. And I didn't know a lick about investing or Bitcoin or Ethereum or really anything. So starting off, I didn't understand that you didn't have to buy whatever Bitcoin's at right now, 44, 46,000, whatever. I thought you had to have $46,000 to play the game. So I looked at another coin, and it was Ethereum Classic, which I now know isn't necessarily the best coin out there, but bought it at 8, and then it friggin' mooned and sold it. Took a screenshot, threw it up on my Snapchat. A buddy of mine from high school, Carbino, added me to the Discord group, met Lil Whale, and him and I just hit it off. We're both pretty blunt. I like to call it, getting hit in the face with a brick. He steps me away from the edge quite a few times. And he just kind of told me to go to the top of all the feeds and just read, because I was asking a lot of the same questions that have been asked 100 times. And I'm a nerd by trade, so I love reading and I love learning. And he just kind of said, go to the top, read to the bottom, and come at me with different questions. And the rest is history.
To introduce yourself, let me ask you this question that might help you. You started your trading career on fire, right?
Well, I won't say it depends on what kind of fire you're talking about. I mean, I come from a losing side of this. I think most new investors will find out the hard way in some ways. But I had to learn to adapt and learn from every mistake, because I was looking at it as an early investment. If you got to go through the rituals of taking a few hits and getting the emotional side of the trade out of you. I mean, you gotta learn that you're not going to win every trade. And if you can pass on the information to help somebody else avoid some of the same mistakes you have, it kind of blends in with why I'm here. I mean, I think we're all here to make money. Simply put, it's just, if somebody's willing to sit down and listen and learn, I think it's a good atmosphere to draw in others and try to help them in the same way. I mean, I've had to learn from other people, people I don't even know, or just met in a group, and it's just piecing information together and investing. So you're not going to learn everything in one day. And if somebody has, helped me understand something, I'm certainly going to try to pass it on to my friends or somebody who's close to me. I want to.
One of the coolest things I learned on the Discord is about securing profits. So can you kind of give your idea of what that means to secure your profits, have your free bags, a free trade?
Well, I'm a little bit of an aggressive trader now. I mean, because simply I can manage my risk to where it's in a form of, if I don't have as much exposure, as some of the guys that just throw $100,000 at these trades, and there's literally their whole account. Once you've learned how to manage your risk, you can become more aggressive because you know where your limit is. When it comes time to take your loss, you got to take your loss. But you can make your trade free anywhere. It's really depending on your risk appetite. I say if you double your money, you should absolutely make it free and never question that. But if something has gone up in your favor 20 or 30% or even 50% or whatever, you can still remove your initial risk from that trade. But the emotional and the greedy side of human beings, and retail traders in particular, it's a roller coaster. You want more. I mean, you're always going to want more and see how much further it can go, or just how much more can I squeeze out of this, and that's what gets a lot of people in trouble.
And Doctor, I mean, that's something you've learned as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming into the game, my very first trade ever was threw my whole bag at something. Now I got lucky, and it was complete luck, and I know that. Now that I've kind of learned the principles, and just to touch on those, I mean, limit your risk. So 25% of your portfolio should be out at any given time. If you make a trade, let's say you buy something at $1 and it goes to $2, remove half of it. Now you have your initial risk back in your pocket, and you're letting the free money ride, because oftentimes you go round trip back to that greed component. Well, it went 200%, so I bet you go 600%, and then it goes minus 600%, and now you're out everything. Whereas if you at least put your initial money back in your pocket, if it goes to zero, so be it. You got another bag to play with somewhere else.
It's moving your risk from one trade to the next. I mean, as long as you keep protecting your original capital, that's what the game is all about. Also, the strategy to that is, if you're keeping your risk the same, this is what Manish's taught me. If you keep your risk the same per trade, which is like if you've removed that risk from that trade and you're ready to take the next, then you're going to use the same amount that you used on the last trade, because you start mixing it up. You start throwing everything. You start throwing your portfolio off, and percentage wise, you're going to have a 10% winner that's not going to cover a 100% loser when you had 1,000 on the loser and only 100 on the winner. So it's important to keep your trade size the same, for sure.
I see Travis is trying to get back in, so hopefully he can get back and join us. I think he was having some technical difficulties, but looks like he's coming back right now. I want to ask you, Raleigh,
Living in the mountain.
Your big thing was the whole GM thing. Can you explain what you did with the options with GM and how it worked, how it came about? I mean, you have this truck here. I mean, you went all in, showing everybody. I mean, you're showing your hand, your pants down. I mean, this is me. I'm doing it. How in the hell, why in the hell did you do it? And what happened with that?
Well, there was a mixture of reasons I did this. And one of the main reasons, which was actually honestly stupid on my part, is I took this trade out of reaction. And what I mean by reaction is, I have a troubled GM vehicle, Silverado 16 model, that I pretty much shouldn't be having, is the kind of troubles that I've had with it. To keep the simple story short, it's just a matter of, I was actually really angry at GM. So several visits to the shop. I had to get my transmission looked at, and it was constantly messing up, throwing check engine lights. And, I work in this truck. It's important that I stay in it and keep it running all day. But I took that trade out of spite from the very start, to be honest with you, because I was just mad as hell at him. I mean, simply put. But once I got in the trade, I mean, I still went to the charts and I tried to manage it the best way I could. I pretty much had to wait on a bearish setup, and when I got in it, it wasn't bearish yet. But right around the time I started doing this, the semiconductor shortages started, coming into the news, and we heard about the big fire of the semiconductor shortage was affecting Taiwan because their whole place burned down, and I think that's like 85% of the supply for car chips and any chips or anything like your mobile phones, your cameras. I mean, the military uses them. I mean, semiconductors go in almost anything virtually now. So, I kind of put all this together, and the supply chain issues are starting to come around too. And I'm just like, this cannot be good for the auto industry, and the auto industry is going to struggle over this. And in the first 2 or 3 months, I got the sentiment that a lot of people really thought it wasn't, going to affect them as much, and thought it was going to be pretty temporary. Well, here we are a year later, and we're seeing that total opposite. I mean, just what I said was going to happen is kind of already in our face now. I mean, you got cars almost double, they're being sold for double their value. It's ridiculous. You go to a car dealer, and basically all of the car dealer lots are empty. It doesn't matter what brand. So I've seen Toyota, Volkswagen, Ford, Dodge. I mean, all of these car companies and auto manufacturers, they're not doing well right now. They can sugarcoat shit all they want, but it is what it is.
So what you did was you shorted GM. I mean, you went all in, like I said. The biggest thing I've had to learn, which I don't know if the doctor, he's way smarter than I am as well. I'm the idiot here. So I always thought when you did an option, you bought an option. So you buy a strike price where you think it's going to go down to. And I've always been of the belief that it has to go down to that price you're predicting it's going to go down to make any money.
Yeah.
But that's not the case, is it?
Nope. You can make money as long as your contract premium is starting to increase, and if it hasn't really affected your time decay yet, as far as being in a trade too long, if price really starts favoring your call or your put, you can profit any time long before your target. Like I actually never reached my $40 target. I had $40 puts on GM, and they were set to expire in December, but I opened them July 2nd. So I roughly had 5 or 6 months to make my trade work. I knew this when I opened it up. It's the reason why I didn't get them too close to expiration, because simply what I wanted to see was if the supply chain crisis and the semiconductor shortages were going to get worse. And perpendicularly, they did. They really got worse. So that helped me. I mean, I don't even think halfway to my target. I have to go back and look, but I still made 400% where I got out. I mean, it was 4 times my money. I literally threw $30,000 at the trade, and it was it didn't take long to see the industry tank. I mean, it's been tanking ever since.
On here, I'm looking forward to talking with both of you gentlemen and learning more. I need more knowledge about all this stuff. There's people that don't know what the hell a float is. This whale back here, he ain't floating anymore. He's going down now, but he can float. But going over things like float, going over things like hedge funds and synthetic shares. I mean, I'm looking forward to, maybe we can explain more of that information. Not me. I won't explain it. I'll ask both of you to explain it to me. That'll work better for me. So, like I said, do join the Discord, get on Twitter, and learn and make some money. with all of us. It'll be
I
fantastic.
love seeing people make money.
And of course, everybody has to say, please subscribe and like, and I guess, like, subscribe, join the Lil Whale army here we have going on. Okay, do that. And if you have questions, comments, put them in there. I guarantee you we'll get to them and answer them. I won't answer them, like I said. An expert will answer it, not me.